Hey Jessica, I'm excited about this podcast because we're going to be chatting about romance and how I convinced you to read a romance book and
You
how
did?
you actually liked it.
I did. Shock of all shocks. Well, I mean, I do trust I trust your opinions and your thoughts, and when you say it's a good book, I trust you. And I know you're not gonna like throw something my way that's gonna make me blubber like a baby uh every 5 seconds. Or make me want to throw the book out of a window. Yes, you convinced me to read a romance book, which led into me reading two additional romance books by the same author because it was like a trilogy type series where it focused on three
Mm-hmm.
sisters, and it was surprisingly very good. Now, I will say you did preface it. I remember specifically you said,
I
Jessica, this is supposed to be
did.
funny. Don't take it seriously.
Yes. And before we get into all the details and why you like it, maybe like rehash like why you typically don't like romance books.
I don't like unnecessary drama. So if it's something that could be simplified with sit down and actually have a conversation, like open your mouth, say something, stop assuming that they can read your mind because newsflash to everyone out there, your spouse cannot read your mind. So even I'll be honest, my husband does not take hints very well. And he made that very clear from the very start of our relationship that I need to be very specific with him. And so I am. And it does not offend me at all for me to say, honey, do you mind if for my birthday you can get me flowers? And he will be the sweetest man on the planet and go get me flowers. But if I don't say anything, he's not going to go get me flowers because it doesn't enter his brain to think of it that way. So, and he's not going to read my brain or any hints that I drop at him. He wants me to be very straightforward. So, any romance books where they could have just simply sat down and had a conversation and talked it out, and you created all this drama because you thought one thing and didn't bother to clarify it with the person you have a problem with, that aggravates me to no end because relationships are hard enough when you have really good communication.
Oh.
so so yes, I don't like romance books at all that have dumb drama in them for dumb reasons. um yeah. Or yeah, that's or if it's too racy or what is it like spicy now, but however you call it these days.
Yeah,
I do
that's what they call it.
no.
Yeah.
I have no
To make
desires
it
to
nice, right? They don't call it what it actually is. They just try to like lighten up the name so it's not that bad.
yes.
So,
Yes. I don't want to read anything that should only be done in the bedroom between a husband and wife. That is not my desire at all. So there goes a lot of romance books right there. Because if it goes into the bedroom, I have no desires to ever read it. So yeah, those are the things, the primary things that I do not like about romance books because they make me angry.
Well, I knew some of that before we talked about it. So when you're like, "Oh, I need a recommendation," I'm like, "Okay, let's try this. Let's try this book." Because I knew it was like just so funny. I loved it. It was just hilarious. But yeah, I did give you that warning, like, don't take it too seriously. I hope that helped. I hope that kind of like, you know.
It did. It did. It reminded me to not go into it with a bad opinion or a faulty opinion. I went into it more just let the book be what it is instead of putting my own desires and thoughts on the book before I even started reading it. Yeah, and you're right. It was very humorous. It did make me laugh out loud quite a few times. I am seriously impressed that the author made me strongly dislike a character within the first 2 pages. Like strongly dislike the character. Now, because this was a repeated it's the series focuses on three sisters. I was kind of hoping she would bring that character back a couple times throughout the other books just so you could be like, haha, see how mean you were in the first book and, see how well the main character is doing now in the second, that sort of thing, but she didn't.
Oh.
um, so yeah, the first book that you had me read was called My Phony Valentine by, now I can't read the name of the author because it's too far away from my face, Courtney
Courtney
Walsh.
Walsh.
Yes. And it was delightfully wonderful. I loved the fact that there was literally nothing in there about miscommunication. Everything, the whole premise is that they were straight up honest with each other from the very start. And I love that. And it more so dealt, well, actually, all three books that I read in the series dealt specifically with, hello, cat. Evie has decided to grace us, everybody, because she agrees with me that all three books actually focused on the characters and their personalities and them actually overcoming the faults of their personalities, whatever those faults happened to be. And each character had some fault that they had to get over. But it wasn't any sort of miscommunication. It was definitely they were working it out either individually with their sisters or with that love interest, whoever it happens to be in each of the books. And I like that in a romance book where you actually get to know the characters for the characters. You get to see the characters actually grow. And it's not just one character that grows. You get to see both the male and female protagonists. You get to see them grow and develop throughout the book. And you fall in love with the characters individually, which I think makes you like them even more when they finally get together at the end of the book. It's just because that's how it is in real life. You have to get over yourself, before you have to let God work on you and your faults before you get with your spouse. And then additionally, your spouse needs to work on their faults and, flaws and whatnot with the Lord, right? Before they get together with you. And then together as a couple, you work through things together. And it's beautiful because you see God and his redeeming factors in your relationship and how gracious that he is with you, that you need to be with your spouse, all the great things that come with marriage and learning to grow and grow through the growing pains of living with someone and all that good stuff, right? That's how it is in real life. And you don't need the added complication of miscommunication in there because someone doesn't want to say something in a book, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there are realistic miscommunication in any relationship.
Right.
And I read some books where, okay, that's realistic, but there's just so many books where it's like just one conversation. All they had to do is
Yes.
one conversation, just share how they're feeling. They just assume the other person knows how they're feeling. Um, and that would have resolved everything. So yeah, I definitely agree with you,
Or they
those type
assume
of
the
miscommunications.
worst.
Yes.
That is the
Yeah.
part that bothers me the absolute most is when they assume the worst about the person instead of just saying, "Hey, I heard you say this over the phone when I was around the corner and eavesdropping on your conversation. Uh, did you mean it this way? Is this because I only heard your part of the conversation? Sorry, I'm going to go on a tirade about about just assuming that you hear one side of the conversation and the person says something and you assume the worst about them. That you should never do
Yeah.
that in a relationship of any kind, be it with friends or a spouse or family. You should never just assume the worst about someone without talking to them and getting all the facts straight. And so just to see that in a romantic book and yeah, that bothers me. And these books did not have that. And I appreciate that very, 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 very much. So Christine did flip my mind. There are good romance books out there. That it was
Hey.
actually a true romance. It wasn't like a romantic mystery where they were solving a mystery together and happened to fall in love with each other. Like this book was a legit. It was them too, and their journey
Mhm.
to falling in love, and it was actually beautiful. I really enjoyed it. So, I have asked Christine if she would recommend another book. I would like one that is more mystery suspense sort of thing, to branch me out in the romantic genre and not just focus on just the romance part. So if she gives me a good book or even a bad book, I'll let you guys know. If she recommended a book I didn't like and why I didn't like it. I doubt it.
Yeah.
You give really good
Yeah, I
recommendations.
mean,
So,
that is a new genre for me this last year. So I have to go back and look at the books I've gone through and see if there's anything I think would be good for you.
well, I look forward to it, and all you viewers out there can keep us accountable. And if there is a genre Christine, you know, wants to try and branch out and read, she is
Yeah.
welcome to ask me if I've, have a genre that she wants to read. And
Yeah.
this cat is going
And
to
if
close me out of this application.
if anyone wants to add a recommendation in the comments for us for Christian romance
Oh, that's a good
or romantic suspense for
idea.
Jessica, yeah, we would love to hear
Yes.
recommendations and what people like
Romantic
reading.
comedy too, because I do appreciate how much I laughed in that book that you were the Phony Valentine. The comedy was really good. I enjoyed it. So yeah, romantic comedy is fine. Rom-com, that's what those are called, right?
Rom-coms.
Rom-coms. So yeah, so romantic suspense, rom-com. Are there any other romantic genres? Fantasy romance. You've done those, right?
Romantasy. My favorite.
That's
Yes.
right. I forgot. Romantasy. Romantasy. I love fantasy, so I would be willing to try romantasy. So that could be another one. Well, I want to thank Christine for pushing me and challenging me to grow as a person and to not be stuck in my little hole of this genre is not appealing to me at all because I was wrong. And I'm happy to have been proven wrong that this is a good genre when you find the right authors and the right books. So, yeah, keep challenging me, Christine.
I
I
will.
want you to challenge me. So, thanks you all for joining us. I hope if you enjoyed it, great. Let us know in the comments. Like Christine said, give us some more book recommendations. And we hope to see you in the book clubs in the genres that you enjoy reading the most. Thanks, everyone.